In this video, we are talking about UV printer compatible materials. So if you have a UV printer like this one, or you're thinking about getting one, it's really important to understand what type of blanks you can print on. So we are talking all about that in this video right here. Hey there, I'm Sarah, you're watching Creative Ramblings. We have talked about this UV printer here on this channel before. If this is your first time seeing it, I highly recommend you take a look at the other videos that I have on this, including the initial review and kind of overview of what this thing does. Today we're going to be really detailed and talk about materials and blanks that you can print on. I'm going to share some tips for how to choose really good blanks and kind of what you're looking for. And then I'm also going to share a few sources of where I've personally gotten blanks from that I've been really happy with. Let's do a quick overview of how this printer prints. So this is a UV printer. Up here we have cartridges of ink, and this is UV compatible resin ink. So what's going to happen when we print something is it's going to lay down the color and the white ink first on whatever blank that you have. Then, so it's going to go over one way, and then the UV light is going to come back and go over the top, instantly curing that ink. So when your item is done and we take it out of here, it is going to be hard, fully cured, and very durable. So in general, UV printers work really well with hard, solid materials. So we're not going to be able to put this on fabric or something that is going to be bendable or flexible. It's not going to work very well on silicone because it is a hard cured ink. So if I have like a silicone watch band and I print on here, the minute that I bend that watch band, the ink is just going to crack right off. So regular UV ink in here that is cured, this is going to go on hard surfaces. We want to look for hard surfaces that are either a little bit sanded, matte, have a little bit of texture to them, or are porous. These materials are going to hold that ink really, really well and create a product that's going to last a long time and hold up really well for your customer. So when you're looking for a hard surface, you want to look for something that has that matte or textured finish. So this is ceramic, and when I feel it, it's not glossy, it's not shiny, it has a matte finish. Very, very smooth, but just that matte texture gives it the tiniest bit of texture that this ink sticks really, really well to. So these are coasters with cork on the back. You can get this matte ceramic in all kinds of different things. You could get plant stakes or a tray that you might display in a kitchen, maybe a trivet. You can get ornaments that are matte ceramic. You can get mugs, all kinds of different things that come with this matte texture. One of the things that Eufy sells and that you will get when you get the machine, that kind of comes with something to test on, are these white ceramic magnets that you can put on your fridge. These are a great thing to start with, and they hold ink incredibly well. Another surface I really like to work with is wood. So this is just a piece of wood. I think this was a Dollar Tree piece that I was testing on. This side is pretty smooth. This side's got a little bit more texture. Both sides hold ink really, really well. And then wood pens. This is actually a very, very smooth wood, but wood by nature has a little bit of texture to it. These pens hold ink incredibly well. So any kind of wood is going to work for you. Another great surface to try is metal. And when you are buying something like a metal sign or a metal tumbler that doesn't have any kind of a coating on it, you can usually get them shiny or you can get them sanded, like very, very lightly sanded. The lightly sanded pieces of metal work beautifully with this printer. For instance, MakerFlow makes some beautiful tumblers that are just stainless steel with no coating on them, and you have an option to buy them either shiny and smooth or slightly sanded to give yourself a really good base to put this on. Speaking of tumblers, you can also go for powder-coated tumblers. Those are the ones that are metal, and then they have a coating on the outside that has a little bit of texture. They hold this ink really well. The big takeaway here is any kind of hard surface with just a little bit of texture is going to be your best bet for a blank material. I do have a couple of videos where I go through and make projects and show you all kinds of different things. And in almost all of those, I am using textured hard surfaces. So go take a look at those for more specific project ideas. So now let's talk about those materials, those hard surface materials that are not textured, that are not matte finish. Glass, clear acrylic, a phone case. You can absolutely print on these, but there's a few steps and a few things you need to do first. So since getting this printer, and I've had this for a while, I have tested on all kinds of things. And I have done a lot of printing on acrylic. So this is a scan to pay sign. This is clear acrylic, comes with a little stand that I made, and this held up really, really well. I have also printed quite a few phone cases. So this has a dark side to it, but it is just clear plastic that I have printed the ink on. I have had no issues printing on clear acrylic like this. I do like, you can get matte acrylic. I do like printing on matte acrylic, but so far the clear has held up really well. I have printed on glass. I don't have as good of results with glass, but you absolutely can print on glass and other smooth surfaces. Here are some steps that you need to follow. Always, always, always make sure your material is really, really clean. Just by holding this here, I am getting my fingerprints all over this. If your material is dirty or greasy or has your fingerprints on it, nothing's going to stick to this. So I would clean something like this really, really well with rubbing alcohol, place it in my machine, don't touch it at all, and let it print. The other thing you want to do after this prints, take this piece, set it aside for 24 hours. As I mentioned earlier, this ink does cure instantly, but taking this and setting it aside and just letting it rest for 24 hours is going to guarantee a really, really hard surface that I cannot scratch off, that is not coming off of here. Same goes for any of these phone cases or any smooth pieces. The other thing I will tell you is that every material is a little bit different. I said myself, I haven't had good luck with glass. I have things that peel off of glass that don't stick. I have seen other people with this machine print onto glass and have really good luck without using any kind of promoter. They are just printing on it and it turns out well. So materials vary from piece to piece. So if you are taking on an order for, say, shot glasses or something like that, buy your shot glasses, maybe a sample from a couple different suppliers, and test them yourself. See how they work before you commit to an order. The other thing you can do to guarantee that you're going to get a nice stick of ink to a shiny flat surface here is to use what's called an adhesion promoter. I personally have not tried these yet. It is on my list of things to try, but I've had really good luck with materials, so I haven't had a need to try them yet. Essentially, an adhesion promoter is a chemical. It usually comes in a wipe. It can also come in a spray that you would spray or wipe onto the clean surface, and it breaks it down just a little bit. So it's almost adding a little bit of texture to your piece. Then you put it in the machine and print. UV Make does sell adhesion promoters. I'll put a link down in the description for metal, acrylic, or glass. They come in little wipes. Make sure you wear gloves and have some good ventilation, but you can help prep your surface with those promoters. So by using the tips I told you here, by getting kind of that textured or matte finish, or by using an adhesion promoter, or just cleaning your items really well, UV printing can work on almost any hard surface. That is my favorite thing with UV printing. If you have a material that you really want to print on, say you have a tumbler you really want to print on, but maybe it's oddly shaped and it doesn't quite fit in the rotary attachment, you always have the option of creating UV DTF decals. So that is essentially printing stickers on to a material on this machine and then placing them directly onto the tumbler or whatever else it is. So UV DTF decals can work really well if you're having trouble printing directly onto something or it's not sticking to something. So one more tip I want to share with you. A lot of the blanks that I use are white. When we're printing in color, the color is going to be most vibrant if it has a white base underneath. This ink is expensive. So if I am using a base like this wood right here, this kind of off-white color, I need to lay down a full layer of white, if not a couple layers of white, before putting the color on. If I start with a white base, I don't need to put any white down, or maybe just one layer. So that's gonna save you some money, save you some ink in the long run. And a lot of UV printing blanks that you look at are going to be white anyway for that reason. So those are my best tips for picking out material that is compatible with a UV printer. Now I want to talk to you about some sources and where to get these, because that's, I think, one of the most important things, especially if you are making and selling items. You don't want to break the bank on something really fancy that you're not going to be able to sell and cover your costs and make a profit. So the first place I would check, if you have a Eufy Make printer or you are thinking about getting this printer, they sell blanks. Right now they sell bundles of blanks. So you can get a starter bundle, you can get a tumbler bundle. I do believe as we move forward, we're going to see more from them. Their blanks are high quality. I've loved everything I've used from them. The second place you might want to look is some authorized retailers of Eufy Make products. So I really like Swing Designs. So they're going to sell, they actually sell this printer. They're going to sell blanks, but then they sell other UV printing blanks as well. They have keychains and ornaments, tumblers, all kinds of different things that you can print directly on. One of my favorite places to look is a company called Johnson Plastics Plus. They have by far the widest selection of blanks for all kinds of different maker machines, including UV printers. So I'm going to link down below a link to their specific kind of UV printer blanks. So everything from ornaments to plant stakes to specialty little decor items, maybe memorabilia, you can get from Johnson Plastics Plus. I do have a discount code down there for you as well if you want to use that. When you're on their website, they are going to have just a ton of stuff. Like I said, they make stuff you could use for a laser or for like a Cricut machine. They have a ton of different stuff. Look for that textured white finish and give some stuff a try. It's probably going to work. The other place you can check if you are looking to do tumblers. So if you get this printer with the rotary attachment and you want to go print on tumblers, or if you don't get the rotary attachment and you print UV DTF decals, my favorite place for tumblers is MakerFlow. So you can get the just metal tumblers, or you can get powder coated tumblers, both of which work excellent with this printer. You can get them in white, you can get them in a ton of different colors, but if you opt for the lighter colors, your color is going to show up a little bit better when you print. So in this video, I wanted to cover materials with you. I wanted to give you a good overview of what you're looking for in materials, in blanks, so that when you have this great idea and you want to print it, it actually turns out well. So I hope you take that away from this video. I am going to include links down below. So first of all, I have a link to this printer with the most up-to-date deals. So if you don't have one yet, go take a look at that. I am also going to link to Johnson Plastic Plus, to the Eufy Make bundles, and to MakerFlow. And anything else that I maybe forgot here, I will link down below so you can have them and you can start to price out and source what's going to be best for you. Be sure to take a look at my other UV printer videos so you can learn more about this machine. And if you have any questions on materials that I didn't cover here, please let me know down in the comments. I would love to chat with you. If you liked this video, if you found it helpful, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I'm here every week with new videos helping you move forward in your creative journey. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.